Welcome back to more DNGN by Barny Skinner. This is still the continuation from the previous recording where I checked out the game for the first time, and this is that same session. I've just cut it into two halves because it went on for almost an hour. I didn't want to have to render a 1 hour video and upload that and so on. So this is the second half of that. So I'll just throw you right into the gameplay and I hope you have fun. Let's turn over the next card. Okay, not our objective yet, but it fits nicely down here. I'll populate that, and looks like we've got another wolf here and then also some more traps. Let's see. So first and foremost, let's do a lot of movement. We're quite a ways away, so I'll just do as much movement here as I can. Can't charge up more mana because we don't have any more mana cubes left. So those 4 movement would get us to here. That probably means the wolf will be able to attack us. Or actually, is it smarter to stay behind and let the wolf come to us, come closer? Because I feel like with our 2 stamina cubes and 1 mana, we can just kill it in one go if we get up to it close enough. And we could just let it come to us. That would just take an extra turn, I think. Although we'll use 2 turns anyways. So maybe no movement. Or at least not as much. So at most the wolf's gonna have 4 movement. So it can get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 here. So because it only has 1 range, I think we'll just move up 1 step. You know what? Let's probably heal up again. Or actually I think our mana, one of them should be in here. Yeah, so because we used that mana, that would have returned to the mana pool, not our action pool. But so we still have 1 and we can do that turn like that. I think that's probably smarter. So we draw a behavior first of all, and that's the triangle behavior. Now if we'd drawn the square one, the wolf wouldn't have moved, and that would have kind of been annoying because then we've wasted that turn a bit. But like this, it moves 3 at least to get it closer to us. I guess you can assign your actions before you draw the behavior, and then you can decide which you want to use based on that behavior. So I could have just assigned all of the movement anyways, and then decided where I wanted to move depending on what the wolf was gonna do. That's kind of cool. I gotta keep that in mind, because I think you're free to not use any actions that you've got cubes assigned to just not use the effect, if I remember correctly. Okay, so like this, we'll just move up 1 because we didn't think of that. We'll charge up 1, we won't swap any equipment, and we'll heal by 1 using those. And the wolf will move 3 towards us. 1, 2, 3. And now it can't attack us here because we're not in range, and it doesn't have any special attack or anything. So I think that's just gonna be its turn. Our turn again. Let's move up 2. Definitely charge up mana and just do 4 damage here, because the wolf has 4 HP. Can't heal, but we're at maximum HP anyways. We started at 12 and you can't go above your maximum, so that'll be fine. I guess we can put 1 more cube into movement here for afterwards. I'm gonna be as efficient as possible here. I think that's fine. Okay, let's move up by 2 using those. Do 4 damage, killing the wolf, and gaining us 1 more gold. Don't know why these wolves are so wealthy that they are carrying gold coins, but so be it. And now I guess we can use a charge here and then move for one more space. Oh, and I didn't even place down a face down loot card next to that dungeon card. I forgot. Because that's going to be interesting now, because now we're in exploration phase and we are not standing on a doorway and there's no monsters left, so we could look at the loot card. Do we want to? We actually have to walk through one of those traps now that I see it. I don't think there's jumping over those or anything like that. Yeah, let's look at the loot just because it's loot. Ah, more summoning. So we summon another circle trap next to us, adjacent to us. I don't know if we'll ever have to backtrack. I'm not sure. So for that reason, I won't put it behind us into the corridor. I'll just put it here with the other traps. And we'll move around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll take a bit. Take some time. Yeah, the timer moves down. And that's that turn gone. Next turn, bleeding. We don't bleed. We assign our movement here. You might want to start. I have not really played around with exhausting any stamina, but I think, at least at the moment, for these weaker enemies, seems like we can afford to. Because sometimes we didn't even use all of our stamina cubes. So maybe I'll exhaust one here to move one more spot, and then we'll definitely charge up our mana in the time as well. No behaviors because there's no monsters. And now our action starts, so we get 5 moves actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we triggered the trap, which will deal 1 damage to us. And we charge up 1 mana. And all of those, except for 1, will return to our action pool, and now 1 is exhausted. And now we don't actually look at any other dungeon card because we're just off the entrance there and we don't get to look at a second loot card, so the timer just moves down. Next turn. Now we should try to sort of plan ahead if there are, because you could just do 1 movement now, but then you're wasting a turn because you can move, smoothly between the rooms on turns. That means there's probably going to be enemies in the next turn, so we probably want to maybe even do some attacking. Let's see. So 1 movement, maybe a second one, will charge up as well. That only makes sense if we also use that. Let's see here. If we were to do this, we'd get 3 movement, which won't get us very far into the room and might waste the mana if we have nothing to attack. Or we just heal a bit again on the way there. Now let's do it like that. If there's a wolf near the entrance, we'll be able to take care of it. If not, then yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a waste. Okay, let's activate our actions here. So move 1, and then, oh, actually, I just realized you can't move smoothly between the rooms, right? You can once they are explored, but because the new rooms are only turned over in the exploration phase, we are now wasting all of these. Okay, so never mind that. I guess I'm not gonna place those on there. I thought we'd just flip over the new card once we step on here, but we have to wait for the exploration phase. My bad, I'll allow myself to redo that turn. So we just move 1, we flip over the next piece here, which will go there like this. Yeah, just about. And we deal a loot card face down next to it. Yeah, and now while populating, we've got the problem that there are no tokens for that circle left anymore. No white ones at least. And the rules say that when you run out of a token, you just remove the one that's furthest away. And I guess you don't need to fight every enemy in this. If you can just somehow move past them and sneak through or run through and have them leave them behind you, but then they will probably chase you as well. Because I'm guessing you're gonna do a behaviors for every enemy on the whole map that has been revealed. Yeah, so I've just moved that trap from there to there. Now this is populated. Now we can move down the timer and that hits 0. That means we return it to 7 and we lose 1 stamina permanently. We can remove a stamina cube from either the action or the exhausted pool. Okay, then probably from here. And that won't be available for the rest of the mission, but will return for future missions. And yeah, so that you take characters through multiple missions, so you keep your character and keep upgrading it, but on each mission you get more tired and lose stamina because of that, but you'll regain that for the next mission. Okay, so this only requires a lot of movement. Don't think we can push traps, because we have that push here. Don't think we can push them out of the way, I'm not too sure. I'll quickly check that, because then we could maybe prevent stepping on that. No, we can move enemies, adventurers, or allies. Yeah, so I guess we'll just do some movement. No enemies here. Move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 1 damage on the trap. And those will all return to the action pool. Timer goes down. I think the trap is removed. And now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, actually, also now in the exploration phase, because there's no enemy left, we could look at the loot. Let's do that. Hope it's not another summon. Hey, it's chest 25. Interesting. What that means is we draw cards from the equipment deck until we find one that is worth 25 gold or below. So that's the maximum number. So the higher the number, the more valuable the equipment is that you can find in the treasure chest. I'm just shuffling the deck again because, as I said earlier on, I sorted it because I didn't know this was how chests work, to put all the cheaper items at the top to see at what we can buy. And obviously we don't want that now. We just want a randomly shuffled deck. Okay, let's turn over the equipment here. That is already 25, okay. A fireball, and that's 1 hand. We still have 1 hand free, because we only have a one-handed axe, so I guess we can equip the fireball. And that has 3 range, and allows us to do nothing, and with 3 mana, a double blast at 3 range. And that blast means it does 1 damage to an enemy at 3 range and also 1 damage to all the ones adjacent to it. So that's quite the AoE, but we don't have enough mana to ever activate that because we only have 2 mana cubes. So we'd need at least 3 in our pool to even be able to activate that, but that's cool to have, maybe for the future. Let's continue here. So that was our loot. I guess we'll discard that. And now the timer moves down again and we assign our actions. More movement. Do we want to heal? Don't think we can if we use all of our stamina on the movement here, because we have one stamina slot less, one stamina cube less. So that's going to be 4 movement, and that'll be the turn. Again, I could exhaust some. I should actually. I should. So I should have. I'll do that because there was no new information revealed here and didn't turn over any behaviors or anything like that. So I should have used all 6 stamina like this to get 1 extra movement in, because then these are all removed and will get the exhausted one back next turn anyways. I think exhausting cubes when there's no monsters around, you should just do that, probably. If there are, maybe you shouldn't, to have the necessary cubes on the next turn. But like that, the timer will tick down 1 more, and now we, I guess, just assign 1 movement here. We gain back our exhausted one, we get this. I guess we could also heal. Let's maybe do that. So using 2 more stamina and 1 mana, we can also heal. So we'll do 1 movement, we'll heal. I think we can do these in any order, it's said. So we'll heal up by 1. We'll also not swap anything, but then charge up the mana again. And we'll get back our exhausted one. Now we turn over a next dungeon card, which is the last one, which of course our objective is on the very last card, typical. And ooh, that's a lot of symbols there. It looks like 2 wolves and a bear. But first and foremost, this was the end of the exploration phase, so the timer moves down 1 more. I think we also add a loot card next to this one. And now we get to assign here. Let's see, I think it's wise to move 2, a big attack. Or actually, we could move 3 and do a spin here. Yeah, that would probably be cool. A frenzy. And then also just big hits using our stamina and our magic here. And nah, then we can't channel back our mana, but I think that'll be fine for 1 turn. Let's do it like that. So we draw behaviors for the wolf. The top behavior, it does not move, it does not attack, but it has 1 defense. And the bear does a frenzy attack and moves 3, so it won't get to us, luckily. Yeah, so defense doesn't work like defense in some other games where it applies to every attack. This is more like a shield that needs to be broken once, so each wolf can ignore 1 damage this turn, but after that they take damage as normal. So essentially, let's move up 3 using our movement here. 1, 2, 3. And do a frenzy, and that will be ignored by the 2 wolves, that 1 damage. But now we've broken their shields, and now they are also not attacking, so I think I will instead just do 4 damage to this one. And kill it, gaining 1 coin. And now the bear also won't be able to get to us because it's behind the wolf. I think it's nice to not be surrounded by the 2, probably. So now the monsters act, so the wolf doesn't move. We've already taken the defense into account. And yeah, it does get a plus here, which is a boost, which are these small ones here, these pluses. And what those do, they give them attack strength for each boost. So it'll do 1 extra damage next turn if it attacks. And the bear will move 3, probably coming up behind the wolf here. Now we only need to reach the objective, so we actually have the choice to run there to book it, because we can get to 5 movement if we exhaust some. Oh yeah, and the bear will do nothing, I think. It can't attack us, and I don't think it's gonna use the frenzy against the wolf, I'm assuming. Yeah, against each adventurer and ally. Yeah. Okay, so not against other monsters, that makes sense. Yeah, do we just book it and win this mission, or do we want to try and kill those for the loot and then be able to loot the room as well? The bear has quite a bit of HP, but we also have quite a bit of HP left. So maybe we should try. Let's do it, that's more fun. So we will now, after all the monsters have done their things, reduce the timer, no exploration here. We don't really have to move, at least not at first. We'll do a big attack against the wolf, I think, and recharge our mana. And then we've got 3 left here, so we could attack the wolf, killing it, and then move a bit out of range of the bear, so it hopefully can't get to us to kill us. Let's see here, so the bear moves 3 at most. If we then move back by 3, won't be able to get to us. But actually we don't have this. Oh, yes, we do, because we can move back into the previous room. We're just playing with the time here, running the risk of getting more exhausted. But maybe that's fine if that's the last enemy. Hope this is not a big mistake. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's draw new behaviors for those two. And once the behavior pile is used up, you shuffle it. So I guess you can keep track of which have already been played and that way anticipate a bit. So we could have known that there were no circle behaviors left here. Yeah, so this is a triangle one, just off screen, and the square one. So the bear actually has defenses round as well, which means we don't even really want to attack too much. Okay, let's attack here, doing 4 damage to the wolf. We'll channel back 1 mana, charge back 1. The wolf is dead. And we gain 1 extra coin. And then we book it from the bear, so 1, 2, 3. That's not smart. Should move backwards. No, we end up in the same spot. So actually the bear... No, it won't, because it only has 2 movement on this. We could actually try and move ahead instead. That would probably be smarter. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's good. And we can also push. So one of those will be exhausted. Wolf has no actions because it's dead. And the bear will move up by 2, which means it can't get to us. And I guess it will go around this way probably. I'm not sure. Seems like it doesn't make a difference. And it attacks for 4 and then pushes 2, but it can't push us because we are out of range. Okay, that went nicely. Let's see if we can't do some damage here. So we probably, and we have to move down the timer. We probably want to recharge every turn now. Do some big damage. We will take a nasty hit. We can still afford it at the moment. And, you know, it would be a waste to not also do the frenzy for that extra damage. Why not? I think that's fine. Means the bear will hit us. Yeah, we've got the chance of it drawing the hexes where it doesn't move here, the behavior. in that case, one extra movement might be nice to go step towards the bear, hit it, and then step back. But then we miss out on the frenzy. But in the other cases, the frenzy will just be eaten up by the defense. I'm not too sure. I'll keep it like this because we have a lot of HP at the moment. Okay, let's draw a behavior. We have to shuffle. This one. Oh, it's the hexes. Okay, yeah. We won't have the movement necessary. Oh, actually, but it doesn't attack then anyway, so there's no need to get out of range. It heals, and it's got defend. Ugh, that's a bit annoying. Okay, so we move up by 1. We do our frenzy, which will be eaten up by the defend. We'll channel 1 mana, and we'll do 4 damage, and only 3 of those will go through, because it still has another defend left. Bring the bear down to 5. And now the bear will just heal, which means it will remove bleeding tokens if it has any, or it regains 1 health up to its maximum. So it's left at 6. Only did 2 damage to it that turn. That's fine, so we're down another turn, which means we lose another stamina here. So we should really get going here. Get rid of the behavior. Not just because the video is quite long at this point, I feel. Let's assign all of them into damage. Let's put all power into cannons. And also recharge. And actually we've got exactly enough to also then heal. Actually, I just realized we don't have enough to heal, because I did the same mistake I did earlier where I put the mana cube directly back into the action pool instead of the mana pool. Could bleed it, start bleeding the bear. I think that might be nice, doing more damage here. Okay, let's do it like that. Draw a behavior. Hexes again. You know, at least it's not attacking us and it's just counter healing at the moment, but that defend is annoying. So we'll deal damage to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the frenzy, and we'll add a bleed token. So 5 minus the 2 defense, so it will just take 3 damage. All of those stamina cubes returned, except for 1. And also we channeled 1 mana again, or charged, or whatever the correct term is. And that's the bear at 3. Now it will do its heal again, which removes the bleed that we just put on it, I believe. Yeah, if it's bleeding, remove all bleeding tokens, otherwise regain lost health. Okay, so that did sort of do 1 damage in the sense that it prevented the bear from healing 1. That's fine then. Let's get rid of that behavior. But so I think that now means that behavior is out, because the behavior cards are only 8 cards. So now we can know that it won't be using that this turn. Okay, timer, move down the timer. Let's do more damage here. We can do 3 damage pretty easily, because we know that it won't be using that hexed behavior with the 2 defense. It will only have 1 defense at most. So actually we don't even need the frenzy, but why not? Yeah, let's draw the behavior here. It's got 0 defense actually, and will do a frenzy of its own, but it won't get to do that. So we do 1, 2, 3 damage, and this one gets sort of wasted. Bear is dead, we gain 5 gold. Which, as I said, I'll say the yellow ones are 10s, and I'll just remove 5 of the silver ones. And that's the bear gone. Now we don't have any actions left, except looking for loot in the exploration phase. And let's do that. That's a mana potion, so we can use that once, exhausting a die, and we'll channel 3 mana. That's nice. You can equip up to 3 items, which we will just equip that, I guess. And that's gonna move the timer down once more, and now we just need 1 movement. Nothing else happens. We use that, we move, and we've reached the star. I think now we just read out the end of the mission. Don't think anything else special happens. You can hear me furiously scrolling here in the background. Tell me if I'm doing anything wrong, but I'll just read that out. So we've reached the star. Half frozen, you stumble into the village. Kind hands support you to the inn. The villagers listen as you explain how you came to be there, but have never heard of you, your lord, or even your homeland. They suggest the village elder may know more. Gain 1 upgrade, and you can meet with the elder, which will then advance you to mission 2, or you have to repeat the mission if you fail. Okay, but so we've successfully completed that. We gain an upgrade. That'll be the last thing we do here this video. So we can either gain 1 stamina cube to a maximum of 10. Also we gain these back because that was just the timer during the mission. We could also gain 2 mana cubes, which might be smart because then we could even start using that fireball. Could gain another focus cube. We already have 1. That's a maximum of 2. Never use that because using this lightning bolt charge, you can only charge mana. For focus, there's like an eye symbol, eye icon, and we've never seen that. Could upgrade a skill or increase our maximum health by 2. Now our health didn't seem too tight this mission, so maybe let's upgrade skills or our cubes, our amount of cubes. More stamina also means we'll be able to go longer without the timer really hurting us. So we could improve this, which would give us more channeling. That's kind of cool, and also more healing. So that way we could channel 2 mana and also use 2 on the strong attack and 2 healing each turn, sort of reaching an equilibrium with our mana. Or the movement just gives us an earlier push and then more movement if we exhaust. Seems good as well. I think because we found that fireball, we might want to invest in more mana cubes. I don't know if now is the right time. Let's first upgrade this one, probably, so we can maybe do that attack and heal thing I was talking about. Tell me what you think about my decision here, if you would have made a different one. That's Dungeon for you, DNGN by Barny Skinner. I've had fun with the game. It was a bit hard to get into because of all the symbols and so on at the beginning. Bit daunting, I should say, not hard. But this is a fun game and I can see the appeal definitely, that spatial puzzle. Interestingly, I have made some games of my own, mainly for me and my friends to play and so on. I think many people who are enthusiastic about these sort of simple print and play, dungeon crawl or whatever RPG games at some point try to make one of their own. I've made a few different board and card games and none of those published, more for me to play and have a few prototypes, and this reminds me of one that I have been working on in the past, also for a while now, recently again. So this is cool to see that work. Yeah, that game also has that sort of hex map areas. Apart from that, there's not many similarities. I really like this whole stamina and cube assignment system once you get your head wrapped around it. Yeah, I just gotta remember to actually return the mana cubes to the mana pool, not the action pool. But this is a cool game, and you use the same dungeon deck every time. So that's why you might think these traps are really unnecessary back here, these squares. Why would we ever visit those? On other missions, the squares might be other enemies or something like that. They might be of interest. So tell me what you think about the game. Did you know this game? We'll continue this definitely at some point. Until then, have a nice day. Bye bye.